Welcome back to the channel USD Coins, Coin Collectors and Curious Minds. Today, you're about to discover one of the most fascinating stories in the world of rare coins, a tale that involves a humble coin from 1973, known as the D-Liberty $1 coin, with a face value of just $1, but an astounding market value that has surged up to $5.3 million. That's right, a coin you might have once overlooked or dismissed could be hiding a fortune. Get comfortable, because this deep dive into the mysteries, errors, and historical curiosities of the 1973 D-Liberty $1 coin is going to be one for the ages. If you've ever wondered how a common-looking piece of currency could turn into a collector's holy grail, this story is going to blow your mind. To understand the true value and rarity of the 1973 D-Liberty $1 coin, we need to take a journey back to the early 1970s, a time when the U.S. Mint was in transition. The coin in question was struck at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small D mint mark that appears on the coin. The early 1970s were crucial years for U.S. coinage. The Eisenhower dollar had just been introduced in 1971 to honor President Dwight D. Eisenhower and the Apollo 11 moon landing. While most collectors and the general public are familiar with the Eisenhower dollars minted between 1971 and 1978, few realize that within this series lies a spectacular anomaly. The 1973 D-Liberty $1 coin is surrounded by mystery and intrigue because of a unique blend of minting errors, low mintage numbers, and unusual circumstances that make it stand apart from other Eisenhower dollars. In fact, most people don't even realize that regular 1973 Eisenhower dollars were not released into general circulation. That's right. The 1973 EIC dollars were only available through special collector sets issued by the U.S. Mint, known as the mint sets and proof sets. That automatically reduces the supply available in the general market, which is one of the first clues as to why the 1973 D-Liberty $1 coin might command such high value. But what sets this particular coin apart even further are the minting mistakes and errors that occurred during its production. The $5.3 million valuation isn't just due to rarity. It's also due to a spectacular array of errors that are both fascinating and highly sought after by numismatists. We're talking about striking anomalies, misaligned dies, double dies, off-center strikes, incorrect planchets, and in some cases, even mysterious overlays or remnants of older coinage embedded within the coin's surface. One of the most astonishing examples involves a coin that was struck on a silver planchet rather than the standard copper-nickel clad used for most Eisenhower dollars. This is extremely unusual because by 1971, the U.S. Mint had already moved away from silver coinage for regular circulation. The only silver coins being produced were special 40% silver versions for collector sets, usually bearing an S mint mark from San Francisco. A 1973 D-Liberty dollar struck on a silver planchet would never have been intended for general issue, making its existence either a fluke or a deliberate act, possibly by a mint employee with access to both silver and clad blanks. When a silver planchet gets fed into the coin press intended for a clad coin, several telltale signs appear. The weight of the coin is different, it's heavier than a normal clad dollar. The ring of the coin when dropped on a hard surface is also more resonant, producing a higher pitched chime that is unmistakable to seasoned collectors. And then, of course, there's the color, a duller gray tone rather than the shiny, nickel-bright surface typical of clad coins. One of these 1973 D silver planchet errors has been authenticated by leading grading agencies and fetched a price close to the multi-million-dollar range due to its extreme rarity. Another rare and valuable error involves a double die obverse. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or has been impressed with the coin's design more than once, slightly off from the original impression. This causes features like the lettering, the date, or Liberty's face to appear doubled. While double die errors are well known among Lincoln pennies, especially the famous 1955 and 1969 S varieties, they are far rarer in Eisenhower dollars, and even more so in a year like 1973 when the coins weren't meant for wide circulation. A 1973 D double die obverse coin can fetch massive premiums, especially if the doubling is clear and bold without excessive wear. Let's also talk about off-center strikes. These errors occur when the planchet isn't properly centered during the striking process, resulting in a coin with a portion of the design missing. An off-center Eisenhower dollar is already a rare sight, but a 1973 D version, particularly one that shows significant off-centering while still retaining a full date and mint mark, can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Combine that with any other error, like a double die or a wrong planchet, and you're looking at a coin that might well climb into the six-figure or even seven-figure range. Another error that has raised eyebrows in the collecting community is what's known as a transitional error. These errors occur when a coin is struck using a design or metal composition intended for another year. With the U.S. Mint transitioning designs and compositions during the early 1970s, there's always a small chance that a leftover blank from a prior year, perhaps even one intended for a silver commemorative coin, was used to strike a 1973 Eisenhower dollar. These types of anomalies are incredibly rare but have been documented in other series such as the 1943 copper penny or the 2000 Sacagawea dollar with a state quarter reverse. Then there are mechanical doubling issues. While not technically a true double die, mechanical doubling happens when a loose die shifts slightly during the striking process, creating a flat, shelf-like duplication of design elements. Although not as valuable as a true double die, mechanical doubling can still increase a coin's desirability, especially when paired with other errors. For the 1973 D Liberty $1 coin, any error is magnified in value due to the limited supply and non-circulating status of that year's coins. Now, let's examine the coin's design more closely, because understanding the artistic and historical elements can also help explain why certain errors become so significant. The obverse of the Eisenhower dollar features a portrait of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, designed by Frank Gasparo, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time. The reverse features the Apollo 11 mission insignia, an eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch in its talons, a tribute to the successful lunar landing of 1969. This design was chosen not just to honor Eisenhower, but to celebrate American space achievements. Any flaw or variation in this symbolic artwork, like a distorted eagle or missing moon crater, can greatly enhance a coin's numismatic value. The placement of the mint mark is also of interest. On the 1973 D Liberty $1 coin, the D appears just above the date. In some error coins, this mint mark is misaligned, repunched, or missing entirely. A repunched mint mark, or RPM, occurs when the letter indicating the mint is stamped more than once in slightly different positions. These errors are especially prized when clearly visible to the naked eye and authenticated by experts. Over the years, coin grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated only a handful of highly erroneous 1973 D Liberty $1 coins. Their rarity and mystery have only grown with time. In 2020, one such coin fetched over $1.4 million at auction due to a spectacular blend of errors, double die, off-metal strike, and exceptional condition. By 2024, whispers of private sales and off-market purchases suggested that a specimen might have been sold for as much as $5.3 million. While these high prices may sound incredible, they're supported by the same laws of supply and demand that govern all collectibles. The rarer the item, the more people are willing to pay to own a piece of history, but the allure doesn't stop with error collectors. Some numismatists believe there are even more variants of the 1973 D Liberty $1 coin still undiscovered, sitting in old family collections, tucked away in boxes in attics, or hidden among rolls of Eisenhower dollars that were never closely examined. The possibility that a previously unknown specimen could surface at any moment adds to the mystique and keeps collectors searching. So, what should you look for if you suspect you might have a 1973 D Liberty $1 coin that could be valuable? Start by weighing the coin. A standard Eisenhower dollar weighs about 22.68 grams. If your coin is heavier or significantly lighter, it might be struck on the wrong planchet. Next, examine the edges. A silver planchet will lack the copper line typically seen in clad coins. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling in the date, the word Liberty, and Eisenhower's profile. Check the mint mark carefully for repunching or missing detail. Any signs of off-center strikes, surface cracks, or die breaks can also increase the coin's value. It's also important to have any suspicious coin authenticated by a professional grading service. Many fakes and altered coins exist in the market, and only experienced professionals can verify whether an error is genuine. Coins that receive high grades, such as MS-65 or higher, fetch premium prices, especially when combined with verified errors. Today, this video takes a deep dive into one of the most fascinating coins ever struck in modern U.S. history, the 2001 Liberty $1 coin. On the surface, it might seem like just another Sacagawea dollar, part of the series introduced in the year 2000. But this particular coin, minted in Denver in 2001, contains a combination of errors and anomalies so rare and remarkable that it has captured the attention of collectors worldwide, eventually reaching an astonishing estimated face value of $2.3 million. That's right, what began as a simple dollar coin ended up becoming a multi-million-dollar piece of history, and in this video, we're going to explore how that happened, what makes this coin so incredibly valuable, and why its story continues to intrigue experts and collectors alike. To truly understand the significance of the 2001 Liberty dollar and its value today, we have to take a step back and examine the broader context in which it was created. The Sacagawea dollar series was launched in 2000 with high hopes. The U.S. Mint wanted to phase out the unpopular Susan B. Anthony dollar, and the Sacagawea series, featuring the young Shoshone woman carrying her infant son Jean-Baptiste on her back, was designed to offer a fresh start. Sculpted by Glenna Goodacker, the obverse of the coin celebrated the role of Native Americans in American history, while the reverse was designed by Thomas D. Rogers and featured a soaring eagle surrounded by 17 stars, representing the states in the Union at the time of the Lewis and Clark expedition. The coins were meant to be practical, beautiful, and historically resonant. But despite an ambitious launch, including partnerships with businesses like Walmart and General Mills to increase circulation, the public never fully embraced the golden dollar, and it largely failed to circulate widely. But amid the initial rollout and subsequent years of production, the Mint experimented with a variety of striking methods, planchets, and alloys. As a result, certain coins came out with irregularities, the vast majority minor, and a few extremely significant. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 2001 Sacagawea dollar is that it combines not just one or two, but a series of unique minting mistakes that, when taken together, form a kind of numismatic perfect storm. Some have called it the holy grail of mint errors, not because of one glaring flaw, but because of the unusual convergence of several high-level mistakes that would typically be caught in quality control, yet somehow weren't. Let's start with the mint mark. The D on the 2001 Liberty dollar indicates that it was minted in Denver, which is standard procedure. But upon close examination of this particular specimen, something very odd stands out: the mint mark itself is misaligned. Not just slightly off-center or faintly punched, but significantly misplaced in a way that suggests it was added manually rather than through the standard automated process. This leads many experts to believe that the coin could have been struck from a transitional die, or possibly a retired die that was mistakenly reused, or even that it underwent an experimental hand punching that was never meant for circulation. The exact cause of this mint mark anomaly is still debated, but its existence alone elevates the coin's status considerably among error coin collectors. Now, add to that the issue of the planchet, the metal disc on which the coin's design is struck. In the case of this ultra-rare 2001 specimen, the planchet appears to have been the wrong alloy. Instead of the typical manganese brass-clad composition used in Sacagawea dollars, which gives them their distinctive golden hue, this coin displays a strange color tone and weight irregularity that hints at a different metal base. Some numismatists have speculated that the planchet may have been left over from a foreign coin production run, possibly from a contract with another country, and was accidentally fed into the presses along with U.S. coinage. Others suggest that it may have been part of an experimental alloy test that never went to mass production. Either way, the use of an incorrect or anomalous planchet is a major error and adds substantial value due to its extreme rarity. In addition to the incorrect mint mark and planchet, the strike itself is flawed in multiple ways. Most notably, the 2001 Liberty dollar in question exhibits signs of a double strike. That is, the coin was struck more than once by the dies, leading to a faint but discernible doubling in the text and portrait details. The word Liberty appears slightly shadowed, especially around the letters B and E, and the date, 2001, shows a ghost-like repetition just underneath the primary numerals. Doubling like this can occur for a few reasons: die bounce, die rotation, or accidental refeeding of the planchet into the coining press. In most cases, these errors are minor and only attract niche interest, but in conjunction with the other errors found on this coin, it becomes part of a cumulative rarity that's nothing short of astounding. Furthermore, the edge of the coin, which is often overlooked by casual collectors, tells its own part of the story. While Sacagawea dollars are known for their smooth edges, this particular 2001 coin exhibits signs of partial reading, faint, uneven ridges around portions of the edge that resemble the milled edges of quarters or dimes. This is highly unusual and suggests a clash between the planchet and a collar die from a different denomination or a flawed blank that came from a misaligned collar press. Such edge anomalies are rare in any U.S. coinage, especially in a dollar coin with what's supposed to be a uniform smooth edge, and it's just another factor that contributes to the coin's allure and astronomical value. One of the most intriguing mysteries surrounding this coin is the possibility that it was never intended for general circulation at all. There's growing speculation that it may have originated from a special test batch, a limited-run experimental strike, or even a mint error that was quietly removed but accidentally released into circulation. The U.S. Mint has a long history of producing pattern coins and experimental issues, sometimes as internal trials, other times as test pieces for Congress or foreign clients. Some of these coins are marked as such, others are not. And in exceedingly rare cases, one or two make it out into the world, either by accident or through unauthorized release. The exact chain of events that led to the release of this 2001 Liberty dollar is unknown. What we do know is that only one or two coins with this specific set of errors have ever surfaced, and both have undergone extensive scrutiny by independent grading services like PCGS and NGC. The coin we're discussing today was eventually graded mint state, with some designations acknowledging its double strike and planchet anomaly. Experts who've examined the coin in hand describe it as unlike anything else in the Sacagawea dollar series. The layering of mistakes, from the mint mark to the alloy to the doubling and edge irregularities, would each be significant on their own, but together they create a singularly unique specimen. So, how did this coin go from being a misplaced dollar in someone's pocket to a multi-million-dollar item? Well, as with most legendary coins, it all comes down to timing, rarity, and provenance. The initial discovery of the coin sent ripples through the coin collecting world. Rumors started swirling about a mutant Sacagawea, a coin that broke all the known rules. When it finally surfaced in a major auction, the bidding was fierce. Private collectors, institutions, and even a few museums all competed for the chance to own it. The final price? An eye-watering $2.3 million, setting a record for modern US dollar coins. But even beyond its financial worth, the coin represents something deeper, a kind of living history, a mistake frozen in metal, a testimony to the human element behind even the most automated processes. In a way, it reminds us that even the mint, with all its precision and regulation, can sometimes produce something so strange, so anomalous, that it escapes the system entirely and becomes something legendary. Now, you might be wondering, are there more out there? Could a similar coin be hiding in a drawer, a change jar, or forgotten in a safe deposit box? The answer, thrillingly, is yes. While the exact combination of errors seen on the $2.3 million coin is likely one of a kind, other rare errors from the Sacagawea series have turned up from time to time. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and even wrong metal strikes are known to exist, though they don't approach the astronomical value of the 2001 D. That said, every so often a new anomaly surfaces, a double denomination strike, or a Sacagawea obverse combined with a state quarter reverse, as happened in a few infamous mule errors. Those mule errors, perhaps the most famous being the 2000 P Sacagawea dollar struck with a Washington quarter reverse, have sold for tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars themselves. They serve as a reminder that these mistakes, though rare, are very real and extremely valuable. They also emphasize the importance of looking closely at your coins. Because while the chances of finding another multi-million-dollar 2001 D Liberty error are slim, they're not zero. And every collector dreams of making that discovery, pulling a coin out of circulation that turns out to be a hidden treasure.